What's good, YouTube? This is Stormybman, and I'm back with another video editorial. Before we get started, I'd like to say shout out to the LDBC, the Lions Den boxing community, and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. The title of this editorial is it time for Bud to bloom? You know, Terrance Bud Crawford is at a pivotal point in his career where he has to make decisions on how he wants to be remembered in the sport of boxing. If he is content with where his standing is presently, he can fade off into the sunset as a young gun who came into the sport and gave a great account of himself as a boxer and as an exciting fighter. Beginning with his victory in 2013 over Breidis Prescott, a unanimous 10-round decision, Crawford never looked back, as when he won his first WBO title against Ricky Burns in March of 2014, following up that fight with Breidis Prescott. It was at this time that I knew that Crawford had a special talent, and as he would go on in his career with victories over Burns, Yuriorkis Gamboa, and then later still Viktor Postol, he was showing himself to be one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the sport. But now that he has moved up to the welterweight division, after unifying and becoming undisputed at junior welterweight, it has become something that is asked of not only boxing pundits and fans, but even his contemporaries, that he challenge himself yet and still against the best that the welterweight division has to offer. And of course, those names are familiar and on everyone's lips. But it doesn't appear that Bud Crawford is as interested in that as some may have thought originally. These are not my sentiments, but they are the sentiments that are going around as far as everyone who either views the sport, participates in the sport, comments on the sport. With a sturdy record of 37-0 with 28 KOs, Crawford is on a winning streak at the welterweight division, where he has stopped every opponent that he has faced at welterweight, beginning with Jeff Horn, Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, Edegis Kavaliauskas, and Kell Brook, his latest outing, which took place in November of 2020. Now, there are fighters at welterweight that could really raise the level of consideration with where he is as far as a champion in the welterweight division. Fighters like Keith Thurman, Showtime Shawn Porter, and current unified champion Errol Spence Jr. would be great names to put on his legacy as having faced the opponents, whether win, lose, or draw. Something has struck Bud lately that he doesn't feel that it is necessary now to face these fighters. I do believe I understand what that is. He is a different sort of personality. He's not that movable object. You understand? He's the kind of person that he totally thinks outside of the box for himself and when it comes to himself. But those three names, Thurman, Porter, Spence Jr., would really make him a Hall of Fame fighter, whether he won the bouts or not. But it's about facing the opposition, your contemporaries who are there and who were in meaningful positions to make fights have meaning within themselves. Is it time for Bud to bloom? Most definitely. You should not allow the opportunity to escape. You're living in an era where there are defining fights on the table. And at the age of 33, you're coming out of a prime, but you're still a focused fighter and you take very good care of yourself. My advice is you should at least face one or two of those guys out of the three. There are young studs who are coming up and they will be threatening all of you guys' positions very soon, within the next couple of years. I would like to see Bud Crawford, just as anyone else, in a tremendous showdown against Errol Spence Jr. Will it take place? We don't know. There have been so many roadblocks that have come up and upset the cart of fights that we would love to have, just because the guys didn't make them when they had the opportunity to do so. All this and still, Bud is a champion caliber fighter, and he has come up from the lower weight classes and been very successful. The mark of his success is what he has accomplished thus far, but to really ascend to the clouds, it would require him to do just a little bit more work. What do you think? These are my sentiments and thoughts about it. Leave comments and we can discuss it all. We hope that Bud Crawford will take on someone else before it's all said and done and prove his worth in the sport of boxing. This is all I have for you at this time. This is Stormybman. Leave comments, discuss it, and until the next time, everyone stay safe and peace be with you.